Assalamu alaikum and good morning, my dear students. How are you all? Hope you all are doing well. So I welcome all of you to yet another class of biology. So today we are beginning a new chapter, that is microorganisms, a friend and foe. So students, if you are looking at your surroundings, you can see different kinds of plants and animals, right? There are different varieties of plants and animals in our surroundings. But there are some other organisms that exist in our surrounding that we can't see through our naked eyes. Okay, they are called microorganisms. What is that? Microorganisms. Micro means what? Small or minute. Okay, we can't see it through our naked eyes. It can be only seen with the help of a microscope. Okay, so such organisms are called microorganisms. So in this chapter, we will be learning about these microorganisms and the different types of microorganisms and how these microorganisms are becoming our friend or how they become our enemy, that means foe. Okay, so these all things we will discuss in this chapter. Okay, so let's move into the topics. Microorganisms or microbes. So microorganisms are otherwise called microbes, and these microorganisms are very small organisms which cannot be seen with our naked eye. They can only be seen with the help of a microscope. And microorganisms may be unicellular, that means single-celled organism like bacteria, amoeba, etc., or can be seen multicellular like fungi, some algae, etc. And microorganisms may exist alone. They may live alone or live in colonies. Colonies means in groups. For example, you can see in your house during the rainy seasons there will be spoilt bread, that is due to the moisture, and its surface may be covered with greenish white patches. You might have seen in this on the bread, right? See this picture. So this is due to the presence of a colony of a fungus called Rhizopus. Okay, a colony of a fungus called Rhizopus is living in this spoiled bread. And microorganisms can live in all types of environment, like in cold climate, in hot springs, that is climate with a high temperature, deserts and marshy lands. Marshy lands means what? The water filled areas like our paddy fields. They can live in all climate and all types of land, and they are also found in the bodies of some animals including humans. Okay, in human body we can see a lot of bacteria and other microorganisms, and also some microorganisms grow on other organisms while others exist freely. Okay, so next we will look at the different types of microorganisms. So microorganisms are mainly of 4 types, and they are bacteria, fungi, algae and protozoans. So bacteria like lactobacillus, which is found in curd, then E. coli bacteria, which is found in water bodies, in human body, etc. Then algae like Chlamydomonas pyrogyra, then fungi like bread mold that we have already said, that is Rhizopus, then Penicillium, Aspergillus, etc. Then protozoans like amoeba and paramecium. Okay, so these are the major types of bacteria and their examples. And virus, that is another category which is also considered as microorganisms. You might be familiar with viruses, right, which causes a lot of diseases. Okay, and this group is also considered as microorganisms, but they are different from other microorganisms because they reproduce only in the body of a host organism. Okay, like bacteria, plants or animals. That means they need a host organisms like these bacteria, plants or animals to reproduce. And common diseases like cold, influenza, that is flu, and most coughs are caused by viruses. And like serious diseases like polio, chickenpox, now our corona, etc. are also caused by the viruses. So these viruses is also considered as microorganisms, but they are different from the other microorganisms that we discussed. So students, look here. These are the different types of microorganisms. First category is bacteria. You can see here spiral bacteria and rod-shaped bacteria, that which is two different types of bacteria mainly found. Then we have algae, that is we have here two examples, that is Chlamydomonas and Spirogyra. These can be seen in our ponds and all. Okay, and next one is protozoa. There you have amoeba and paramecium. First one is amoeba and next one is paramecium. And the last group of organism is fungi. There you have bread mold that we already discussed, which is found in the spoiled bread, that is Rhizopus, then Penicillium and Aspergillus. Next we will look how these microorganisms are becoming beneficial for us and how they are harmful for us. So first we will look at the useful microorganisms. Okay, so microorganisms play an important role in our lives by their uses. So microorganisms are used for making curd from milk. This you might have studied in your previous classes, that is curd is produced from the milk, right? And for making cheese, pickles, breads, cake, pastries, alcohol, wine, vinegar, that is acetic acid, etc., we are using microorganisms. So first use is making curd from milk. This you might have known, right? So the bacterium called lactobacillus. What is it? Lactobacillus reproduces in milk and helps to convert milk into curd. So this is how we get the curd from the milk. This bacteria called lactobacillus will convert the milk into curd by reproducing this bacteria. That is, this bacteria will reproduce us in milk and they will convert the milk into curd. So next use is making bread. So the fungus called yeast, you might have heard the term yeast, right? So it is a fungus, and this yeast will reproduce us in the flour that we are using to make the dough and produces carbon dioxide during the respiration. Okay, so the fungus called yeast will reproduce us in the flour dough and produces carbon dioxide during its respiration. And this will make the dough soft and helps in making bread, cakes, biscuits, pastries, etc. And bacteria and yeast are also used to ferment our dosha batters and also our idli batters, etc. So next is the commercial use of microorganisms. Microorganisms are used for the large scale production of alcohol, wine and acetic acid, that is the vinegar. So for this, yeast is used. Okay, for producing this alcohol and wine, yeast is used. And this yeast will be grown on natural sugars which is present in the grains like barley, wheat, rice and crushed fruit juices. You know that for making the wine, different fruit juices are used like grapes, apple, etc. are used for making the wines, right? So this yeast will be grown on this, and this yeast will do what? They will convert the sugars into alcohol, and this process is known as fermentation. Okay, so the yeast which is grown on these juices will convert the sugars present in them into alcohol, and this process is known as what? Fermentation. A scientist named Louis Pasteur discovered the fermentation in 1857. So this is about the commercial use of microorganisms. Next we will look at the medicinal uses of microorganisms. So if you fall ill, what you will do? You will consult a doctor, right? And doctor will prescribe some antibiotic tablets, capsules or injections based on your disease, right? Like penicillin and all. So the source of these medicines is microorganisms. Okay, and such medicines are called antibiotics, and these antibiotics are produced from bacteria and fungi. Okay, for example, streptomycin, tetracycline, erythromycin, etc. are some examples for antibiotics, and these are produced from some bacteria and fungi. What does these medicines do? They will kill or stop the growth of disease causing microorganisms in our body. Okay, so we have to take some precautions before taking the antibiotics. So let's look what are those. So it is very important to remember that antibiotics should be taken only on the advice of a qualified doctor. Okay, so also you must finish the course prescribed by the doctor. That means this medicine will be prescribed for us for 5 days or 6 days. So we have to complete that course of time for taking the medicines. If you take antibiotics when not needed or in wrong doses, that means if we didn't complete the course or we take an extra course, what will happen? It may take the drug less effective when you might need it in future. So if we want to use this medicine again in our future, so it will be less effective in our body. Okay, so you have to follow the proper instructions given by your doctor before taking the antibiotics. Also, antibiotics taken unnecessarily may kill the beneficial bacteria in our body. Okay, so if you are taking the antibiotics with our own decision without any prescription from a doctor, what will happen? It will kill the beneficial bacteria in our body. And the antibiotics will not be effective against cold and flu, because cold and flu are caused by viruses, not by bacteria or fungus. Okay, so antibiotics cannot be taken for cold and flu. So the first antibiotic discovered was penicillin by a scientist called Alexander Fleming in 1929, while he was working on a culture of disease causing bacteria. So he was working on a disease causing bacterial culture. Suddenly he found the spores of a little green mold, that is a fungi, in one of his culture plates. Culture plate means the plate which is where the bacteria is growing. So he observed what the presence of this mold prevented the growth of that bacteria. Okay, so in fact it also killed many of these bacteria. From this the mold penicillin was prepared. From this the antibiotic penicillin was prepared, which killed many bacteria. So penicillin is basically a fungi and it killed many other bacteria. So he discovered an antibiotic called penicillin from this fungi. Next topic is vaccine. So I think all of you must heard about the vaccines, right? Especially in recent times we are hearing a lot about the vaccine. Is it? So what do you mean by a vaccine? What is the use of vaccine? Why it is used to prevent a disease? So when a disease carrying microbe, that is any bacteria, fungi or virus enters our body will do what? The body will produce antibodies to fight the invader. Antibodies means it's a protective protein made by our body against the foreign substance which is invaded. Okay, so our body will produce antibodies to fight against the foreign substance that is entered in our body, like bacteria or virus. So the body also remembers how to fight the microbe if it enters again. Okay, so if this same bacteria or virus enters our body for the second time, our body will remember those bacteria and virus. So what actually a vaccine is? They are dead or weakened microbes of the same disease causing bacteria or virus. For example, if we are taking vaccine against this coronavirus, this disease causing coronavirus is administered to our body as vaccine. But what is the difference? This vaccinating coronavirus will be dead or weakened form of this virus. Okay, and they are administered to a healthy body. And what our body will do? The body will fight and kills them, producing suitable antibodies. That's why if we are taking vaccine, we will feel like a fever. We will feel that we are having fever and all. That is because in our body is fighting against these administered virus. Okay, so these antibodies will remain in our body and we are protected from the disease causing microbes. So this is how the vaccine works. Okay, so if this virus is entering our body for the second time, so these already produced antibodies will be present in our body and they will attack against this second time came the virus, and our body will be protected from those diseases. So there are several diseases including cholera, tuberculosis, smallpox, hepatitis B, etc. And these all diseases can be prevented by vaccination. Children are given injections to protect themselves against several diseases. Necessary vaccines are available in hospitals too. So you might have taken a lot of vaccines against several diseases in your childhood, right? So you have to make a list of that diseases and the vaccinations you taken. You can make use of your parents. Okay, they will help in this for you, and you have to make a list of those vaccines. Okay, so vaccinations are given to children for protection against polio under Pulse Polio program. You might have heard about the polio program, right? And polio drops are given to children and are actually a vaccine which is orally given. Okay, and this is called a oral vaccine. And these days, vaccines are made on a large scale from microorganisms to protect humans and other animals for several diseases. So this is about the vaccine. Okay. So my dear students, today we discussed about what all things? We discussed about the microorganism, the 4 different types of microorganism. What was that? About the bacteria, fungus, algae and protozoans, and about viruses too, right? Then we discussed about the uses of these microorganisms. How using these microorganisms, how we prepare our food products like curd, then bread items, pastries, etc. and the commercial uses of microorganisms, that is in the alcohol production, wine production, and also in the production of vinegar and the process of fermentation. And then we discussed about the medicinal uses of microorganisms. Is it? In the medicines we discussed about the antibiotics and also about the vaccines. Okay, so this is all about today's class. So we will meet in the next class. Okay, that's all. Thank you.